that? Yes, I do have this on my playlist.
I do not.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Sports Wrap. I am one of the hosts, Mike Wigdor, along with my friend and co-host Frank Walsh.
How are you, Mikey?
How you doing, Frank?
I'm well, thanks.
And we are very happy today. We're having a Boston Marathon show. We know the Boston Marathon is coming up. It's very exciting. Everybody's really pumped, ready for it. But the important thing about it too, folks, is that people are running for very good causes. And we happen to have here today two Stoughton residents that are running for a great cause, we believe. It's David Petersile and Joyce Petersile. So welcome to the show.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
And gals.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for
And they are
inviting
running
us.
for the Gillian Reny Stepping Stone Center for Trauma Innovation, established by the Boston Marathon survivors, and it's through Brigham and Women's Hospital. That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
It
So
is,
you
it
guys,
is.
maybe you want to pick it up, Joyce. You can tell
Sure.
us about what actually the charity is and how you got involved, and David can chip in also.
Okay. So Gillian Reny was at the finish line in 2013, waiting for her sister to finish running the marathon, and she was standing with her parents. And when the bombs went off, they directly affected the lower part of her limbs, and her life was saved, and she was taken to Brigham and Women's Hospital. And because of the care that she received there, her parents wanted to give back to the community that helped her. And they established the Stepping Strong Center, the Gillian Reny Stepping Strong Center, that now produces innovations in trauma care. And some of the innovations that have come up have to do with tourniquet, new types of tourniquet training, innovations in prosthetics, innovations in research, innovations in helping people who have also lost their limbs.
Yeah, the interesting thing I saw about that too is it helps people that are civilians as well as
It's
military,
military.
Yes, yes.
which really, you know, kind of hits home, but it helps everybody.
Yes. One of the reasons why they chose to change the way people apply tourniquets is because the person who actually came to save her was an Iraq War veteran, and he was trained in proper tourniquet. So that's why they came up with this innovation, and from what I understand, it's actually being used now at Gillette, where they trained the people who work there.
Gillette Stadium.
Gillette
with the
Stadium
Patriots games, yeah.
should something like that ever happen again, so people can have better access to.
Because a lot of people
being
don't know
That's
like,
right.
where to apply a pressure point to stop a bleeding and prevent a hemorrhage and save someone for that, you know, that critical time period between the time of an incident and the time the first responders can come in and take over.
You know,
And it's
we have a
really-
little video that we're going to show, but one of the things that of other things that jumped out at me was I think one of the doctors said that they had not had any advances in tourniquet care in what, two millenniums or
Right.
whatever he
He
said.
said it's an underfunded.
Trauma
and
care
that,
and it's
that,
itself
you
is
know,
somewhat
it's finally
underfunded.
coming to that forefront, I guess, to realize how important that is. And do you have any idea why it has taken so long? You know, any maybe history or behind the scenes stuff of
Well,
why?
I don't know if necessarily why it has taken so long, but because there has been tremendous breakthroughs in prosthetics themselves.
Yeah. Right.
But what's really interesting is when they talk about the breakthroughs, it's the mind connection to the prosthetic devices that are now starting to become prevalent. So in particular, the first recipient of a robotic ankle and foot, it was Jim Ewing, who was a rock climber in New Hampshire. He had a fall, and he had to have his amputation done. And a specific doctor from Brigham and Women's Hospital, and I think it was also Harvard, was involved, but they developed a prosthetic that they were able to save his nerve endings so that he could now operate the prosthetic using his own brain.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
It was just remarkable.
It
it's,
is
it's,
amazing.
it's
So
bionic.
he could
It's like a
think
bionic
something
man.
and his leg will react that way.
Yes.
Instead
Well, they
of
were
like
combining research
Right.
with the production of the devices.
And there was another individual we met at the dinner last year, which was just floored us. A gentleman who had a bad infection, and due to this infection, he lost all 4 of his limbs. and he received a double hand transplant.
Wow.
At the Brigham.
At the Brigham,
Yeah.
using funds from this charity that we both run for and support.
Right.
And he spoke to us, and he raised his arms, and he basically said, "I'll be at mile 19, I'll be cheering you on, waving." And to think that,
Yeah, I saw
this
that.
person is going to be waving with
I know.
his new hands.
I know.
It's just, it's
It does.
mind-boggling, it's
Yeah.
remarkable.
It
I saw
is.
something similar as an extension of
Go ahead.
that. I don't know if you're familiar with a website called Cheddar. Cheddar it's an amazing website, and it talks about innovation similar to what we're talking about. And they have had some new innovations for prosthetics and ambulatory devices, etc. But they came out with this thing that is almost as real can get, skin. And they showed, you'd see the hands and you'd see everything going on, and the person's doing everything, and then all of a sudden you see like pull up the sleeve
Yeah.
and pull off this glove, if you would, and it was all robotic hand.
Wow.
And yet the skin or glove-like thing that they put over that, you would not know.
Right.
That's
So
incredible.
that it was not skin.
Wow.
Before we show the video, though, I'd like to know, how did you get involved in this charity?
Yes.
Well,
You could tell that story.
well, my daughter had run the marathon in 2015 and 2016.
Yeah, she
I-
did it for American Red Cross,
Red Cross,
2
the
years
first
in a
2
row.
years in a row. And I really did not want to go to the finish line knowing what had happened there. So I said to
yeah.
myself, if my daughter can go there, I can go there. So I went to the finish line, and just seeing the excitement and seeing the people finishing, some of them with prosthetics and some of them with blades, just touched me so that I went home that day and I started looking for charities to apply to. And what struck me was the Brigham, and my dad, who I will always run for, he passed away. He was a patient there, and the Brigham and Women's Hospital was fantastic as far as his treatment there. So then I saw the Gillian Reny cause, and
Yeah.
just like you, when you first see it,
Right.
Yeah.
it's so touching. And I
it's
said to
powerful.
myself,
It is.
"This
It's
is if I can get on this
heart-wrenching
team,
and
because
powerful.
applying to a charity it's difficult to get on the team."
Right.
Yeah.
I said, if they're going to take me, I want to be on this team. So I was lucky enough to get a bib,
Yeah.
and then you.
And I joined in, and because I'd run twice before for Brigham
Brigham.
Women's Hospital, so I called and said,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it again. And
Now,
support
was
you.
this something new for you? I know you
Yes.
said that you had run, so had you been, you're obviously both in great shape, but were you a runner previous to deciding to run the marathon, or was there
Shorter
any-
much shorter
Much
distance.
shorter?
I had never ever thought I could finish a marathon, and I never thought I'd want to do a marathon. It wasn't till I stood there at the finish that day with all those things in my mind, knowing the history of what had happened there, and then I said to myself, I shouldn't be afraid. I mean, I can stand here, they're all running,
Yeah.
I can do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
no,
I
I'd
tried to
never-
finish it one time, but never made it. My car ran out of gas.
I mean, it's quite daunting
really.
to think 26 miles of running.
You know what's amazing about that to me is like you see the ones that do come across and they're like nothing, like it's
Yeah.
fine.
They
but
could
then
like
you-
run another one.
Yeah,
They
and
could
then
keep
you
going.
see the ones that just barely like finish and they
fall
fall
over.
down.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
that'd be me, probably.
I
No, but
finished
mean,
last year.
How, were you fine when you ran across it?
Last year was hot, so I cramped,
Yeah.
but I insisted on finishing, and I did. I finished my first
Good
one.
for you.
Actually, that's not unusual. Most people that run marathons will tell you they've run, say, 12 and finished 7.
Right.
I've run 6 and finished 4. So actually, this is my 4th, and I've only finished 3.
No.
So like last year at mile 20, I ended up severely dehydrated and in a medical tent with an IV in each arm because of the heat. So yeah, it is quite an ordeal. It's not for the faint at heart.
Right, and I didn't know. I didn't know where it
Well,
was.
we hope you finish this year, but let's roll the clip about
Okay.
the Gillian Reny Center.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we have a clip that we can enjoy.
Traumatic injuries can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. And when they do, it can bring out the best in human kindness. When something bad happens, people want to help and do their part to make the world a better place. 50,000 military personnel have been wounded in action since 9/11. $671 billion are spent each year on healthcare costs and lost productivity due to trauma. And trauma is the #1 killer of young people. I'm Gillian Reny, one of the 239 people injured in the Boston Marathon bombings. I know what it's like to have life change in an instant.
No civilian should see what we saw that day. No mom should see their child in that condition.
She had a very bad injury to her right leg and a significant soft tissue injury only to her left leg.
When I arrived by ambulance to Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, I was terrified, but the doctors and nurses were amazing. I finally began to feel hope that I would get better. I can't even express how grateful I am for these medical heroes.
We felt we had to do something to advance their work so that they could help others who suffer from traumatic injuries like our daughter.
This was the spark that began a movement to create the Gillian Reny Stepping Strong Center for Trauma Innovation.
The Stepping Strong Center is really unique in that it was the idea of the Reny and Epstein family who responded to a significant tragedy in their lives. And yet it's an idea, a concept that caught hold very quickly and captured the imagination of many.
In the spirit of Boston Strong, family, friends, and people we didn't even know returned to the marathon starting line to finish the race and raise funds to start Stepping Strong.
After reading Gillian's story, it was incredible just to see that someone who was just standing there that day, waiting for her sister to cross the line, would be so tragically injured. And her recovery is so inspiring to read about.
Those first steps transformed into leaps, giving scientists the opportunity to explore their innovative ideas. Each year, physician researchers compete for a $100,000 grant.
Anything that we can do to speed healing, even if it's only a few weeks, can make a huge impact on people's lives.
Our mission is to cure patients and get them back to their normal life.
It's almost beyond words to know that the tragedy that befell our family has evolved into the vision for Stepping Strong that has now started to transform the lives of other trauma patients.
The Stepping Strong Center is not only discovering new ideas, but it's also delivering them directly to patients. At the same time, the center is training the next generation of trauma surgeons.
We want to push the envelope. We want to break the mold and start doing things that we haven't thought about before.
Amputation science hasn't really changed much in over 2 millennia. And so what we're looking at doing is reinventing the way that amputations are done.
A certain amount of pride that I'm going to be the first to have this procedure.
So those kinds of science fiction ideas can come into reality in the future here.
Over time, the innovation, the discoveries, the advances that are made here will impact physicians, care providers, and researchers around the world.
The essence of the Stepping Strong Center is that it continues to bring people together in that same Boston Strong spirit that defined our city in the aftermath of the Boston Marathon bombing. And it gives us such joy to know that so many have come together to transform outcomes for other trauma survivors like Gillian.
With your help, the Stepping Strong Center for Trauma Innovation will continue to bring hope and healing. On behalf of all trauma survivors around the world, thank you.
A powerful video.
And when we met Gillian and her parents, they were the most genuine people you'd ever want to meet, and just, you know, as adults that have children,
yes.
I mean, Audrey said it the best. You never would ever want to see your own child go through something like that. I couldn't imagine.
Yes.
No, and it just makes you. It still brings tears to my eyes, even
now.
now.
Just watching
and
it.
Just watching it, and knowing them personally now, it's such a connection.
Yeah.
And having met some of those physicians personally and hearing their stories, it's
Brigham and
very
Women's
motivational, very emotional.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Place.
Brigham and Women's is incredible because, I mean, I also was there for some different reason. I had an autoimmune disease. Nobody around this area could even find out what it was.
Really?
Yeah, but you know, I went to I don't want to get into it deeply, but it was just a dermatologist from Brigham and Women's helped me.
Fabulous.
You know, so
it's great.
Brigham and Women's, Dana-Farber saved my life.
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people.
We have the stories.
Yeah, we all have stories. So, but
for her parents to have turned that into this. I mean, they didn't have to do that. So for us, it's just
some people might have just given up, or some people would have wanted to just get on with their lives, and not try and turn it into something much greater than themselves.
Well, look at Martin Richards' father. You know, Mr. Richard.
I know.
I mean, you know, is his. You know, I can't fathom. don't have children of my own.
8-year-old.
But I have a granddaughter.
Yeah.
And I can't fathom what that would be like. And yet, he just, stays in the background, and he just can't get past that.
Sure.
Understandably.
Understandably.
They have a
foundation
too.
Oh yeah, they do. But he just.
Yeah, he's keeping it in the background. How about that?
Getting back to your running there. We'll all start crying if we keep this up.
I know.
Talk about when you first started running. I mean, you hear about it all the time, and I don't think I've asked anybody this before. What's it like hitting that wall? And what was that experience when you did that first marathon? And they talk about hitting that wall.
And
what is that like?
And also Heartbreak Hill.
Well, we train on Heartbreak Hill. So we train. We have the charity provides a coach, and it happens to be someone that we knew when we were in our 20s. So we have a coach. We have a training.
In your 20s?
Yes.
What? 6-7 years ago.
Right.
So it wasn't too long ago.
So we train on Heartbreak Hill every Saturday. Every Saturday morning we do it twice because we start at Kenmore, go out to Newton, and go back. So we're used to Heartbreak Hill. When we get to that point, we kind of feel like we're almost back. We're used to the pitch of the hill. There's actually 5 hills there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's actually a series of hills. It's actually the Newton Hills. The Heartbreak Hills happens to be the last one, and it's not even really the longest or steepest. It just happens to be the last one, and your legs are just beat up. What happens on the race and the feeling of hitting the wall is, by the time you get there, that's like mile 20. And a good portion of the race is downhill, which beats up your quads.
That's worse than going
uphill. It's just your quads are just destroyed.
But what's that feeling? Is it like when they say you hit the wall, you think of a physical action? I mean, do you feel like
drained?
You feel drained. Mental. It's mind over matter. It's more, you get to the point. I think this describes it best. People don't think of the races as 2 half marathons.
Okay.
There's the first 20 miles and the last 6. The first 20 is the first half. The last 6 is the second half.
Wow.
Because the last 6 is where everything up here is taking over.
Your body's trying to say, what the hell are you doing to me?
Exactly. So what were you thinking?
So even with all the water stations and everything along the way, it doesn't help?
You don't only stay hydrated, but you have to take in some caloric intake as you run too. So there's different types of food products you take also. But regardless of how much you're trying to replenish, your body can only consume and digest and,
so how do people
turn
finish
so much into
how
energy.
How do they finish and they look like they look fresh?
Well, you experiment.
And their quads are fresh and everything.
They're well-trained. Well-trained.
Yeah, the training. We do a series of runs up to like 21 or 22 miles in advance of the run, the actual marathon. So basically you'll start like 10, then you go 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. You'll never really do 20.
How often do you do it?
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
With the team. We all train together.
And there's thousands of people out there. It's amazing. Every Saturday in Boston, you would think there's a road race going on. During this winter season because people are training for marathon, and they're all training on the course.
And every charity has a table, and they set up food for us, so you get to experiment with what might work for you. So I can say the people that finish and look the best probably do have some genetic component to it, but also have figured out their training and figured out their nutrition.
I was just going to ask you about that too. How much of a diet change, and when does that diet change? When do you have to start adjusting your diet?
We did in November. We added in a lot of whey protein. We added in supplements. Everything has helped. So right now we're just trying to really hone down what we're going to do that day. what do we need that day? Because now
What,
it
you
looks
go to the
cold.
big pasta dinner,
you go
and
to the pasta dinner?
the spaghetti dinner?
We've been told to eat a bigger lunch than a big dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do tend to eat a lot of carbs.
Wow.
Well, that's the thing you have to be careful of, because when you're doing so much training, your appetite is voracious.
Yeah, I can
And you
imagine.
just want to
Food
get
takes-
home and just start eating everything in sight, so you have to be careful about that.
Wow.
So you can't eat too many sugars and sweets and all that, right?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Now, how much do each of you have to motivate one another? I mean, I'm sure there are days where it's like, oh, damn, it's Saturday again, I don't want to go, or
yeah,
Saturday.
no,
I mean,
no,
do
no,
you,
you know,
do you
it's
guys
interesting.
have
It's
to
so- it's
pick
fun.
each other up
It's
or
fun.
motivate
Really.
each other? No?
We love it.
Even in the
Nice.
winter, in the
That's
middle
good
of
to hear.
winter?
It's such a
love it.
camaraderie. You meet,
Yeah.
first of all, on the team are some spectacular people, because everybody is like-minded. They're not just for themselves.
So
they're
you're all
for-
nuts.
Yeah, we admit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody's there for a greater
great
cause.
cause,
And,
yeah.
and where we train out of,
Yeah.
there's about 18 other charities, for a variety of charities
Right.
that
Yeah,
do
there
the
are.
same thing.
Yeah.
So you're meeting hundreds of people that aren't there just to run.
Right.
They're there
Yeah.
because of a reason, and you hear their stories of
Yeah.
why they're doing it. You know, I'm doing it for my father. I'm doing
Yeah.
it for whoever, whatever
Right,
the
right.
cause
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And that brings you back. So you never really have to. We don't have to push ourselves to go.
No.
We look forward to it. You wake
Okay.
up and you're like,
You
it's
do?
a Saturday. We're going.
Well, I mean,
That's
maybe
it,
at times,
wait.
maybe you explained it very well, but at times where the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know.
That's a good segue to go to show. We have a
I
video
was just
about
gonna say.
about the marathon
Yeah.
team. Can we see that one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is David Tovani.
Hi, my name is Misha. My name is Steph. Hey, I'm Andy.
My name is Caitlin Fabry.
Hi, my name is Stephen Teague.
My name is Lisa.
Hi, my name is Christina, and I'm running for the Stepping Strong Marathon team.
I'm running for innovation.
I'm running for my dad. I'm running for Jackie.
I'm running for trauma, innovation, and research.
I'm running for Gillian and all trauma patients.
I'm running to honor my daughter Gillian, to honor Boston Strong and the best hospital on earth.
Hi, my name is Joyce Petersile.
My name is Ann Tucci.
My name is Melanie Guthrow.
I'm Chris Dobbins.
My name is Jessie Smith.
I'm a captain in the United States Army. I've served 2 tours to Afghanistan, and I've seen firsthand the effects of trauma on the battlefield.
I was run over by a landscaping van shortly after the 2013 Boston Marathon. I can relate firsthand what it's like to go through a traumatic injury.
I want to be able to make a positive impact in the lives of those who suffer from trauma.
I'm running in honor of my dad. He was a patient at the Brigham and Women's Hospital, and I can say that the doctors and nurses there are excellent.
I was incredibly fortunate to receive the medical care that I did.
Working in the plastic surgery clinic, it's been so wonderful to see the benefits of all of the fundraising efforts and the amazing outcomes that are being produced by research at the Brigham.
I have friends, colleagues, soldiers, teammates who are here today due to trauma care and trauma research.
Thanks to the innovative medical care I received, I am still able to run marathons today.
There's such a camaraderie amongst the people running.
Everyone on the team just really holds each other accountable for their runs.
It's the community that makes it a little easier to run, and hopefully we'll be doing the 26.2 together.
I just want to wish you guys all the best on the big run today. While Gillian was in the hospital, I remember we had a card up on the wall that someone had sent from Winston Churchill that said, "Never give up." So you guys can put that in your mantra as you head out today for your 20-miler. And just once again, thank you so much for your selfless determination to help promote everything that we're doing with Stepping Strong. We really appreciate it. So have a great run.
Okay, race day is almost here. Excited for everyone. It's going to be an unreal day. You guys have worked hard, trained through the winter. Some really hard Saturdays out here. It's going to be a day you'll never forget. Go Stepping Strong, and we'll see you out there on race day.
We are Stepping Strong!
Let's go Stepping Strong!
Stepping Strong!
Another great video.
Yeah, you really get the sense of the camaraderie there.
It's good stuff.
It is really good
So what is your website that people can go to then?
We have a CrowdRise.
We have a CrowdRise page if anybody's interested. It's bit.ly/Petersile18.
I wanted to just say a thank you to all of our donors who made it possible for us to reach our goals. Last year for this charity, we were able to raise over $16,000. Thank you to the local businesses who've been so supportive, and to our family and friends. I also want to say good luck to my daughter Marissa, who's running, my future daughter-in-law Aubrey, who's running, my sister Phyllis, who's running.
Yeah, you have the whole family.
We got the whole family training together, and it's been really great. And thank you to everyone for all your support. We really appreciate it.
I gave a contribution, I must say.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, very
I
nice
just felt like so strong about it too. Just saying that. I mean, like I said, Frank and I have been through this.
Yeah, it's humbling.
The support has been very humbling. We've kept every note and every letter, every email, every card that people have sent us. We take to heart. We have them all.
People are so kind, and like Joyce just said, some of the things, the personal notes that you get from people.
Like, what's an example?
Oh, just I'll let you say something.
They'll say things like, "We're so proud of you running for this charity. You just keep going. It means a lot to me that you're doing this for others who can't."
Yeah, I mean, one person, here's a guy I never met. I've only worked with him through like email correspondence. He donated, and he told me, "David, you are loved." And this guy telling me he loves me, and I don't, I don't really know him. Yeah. But it's just amazing.
Cool. Yeah, no, it just brings out the. People are so happy that you're doing it for them because they can't, I guess, or they won't. So it is.
And a lot of us, we donate to each other too.
Right.
We
support network.
Each other. It ends up being a big support network for me.
Where would we be if people weren't like that?
That's true.
Right? Where
if
would
you
we
had
be?
no compassion in your life,
where
would
the best
you be?
advocates for doing that. We always tell people one of the disadvantages of our show is time.
That's right.
And,
unfortunately,
firstly, we want to thank you both for coming in.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Have your website
really
up there,
glad.
and you're certainly contributing to a great cause.
Yes, I want to thank you.
It's people like yourselves and guests like you that gives us the purpose of what we do.
Yes, it makes it more fun for us to do a show like this. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
I want to thank the great Dave Young for helping us out today. I mean, Dave, thank you so much. You did a great job doing everything. And Michael Young as well.
I was going to say, I have to give you a special little kudo.
Michael Hammond, I'm sorry. Jeez.
Mike Hammond, you did a lot of work putting this together and bringing these guests in, so thank you, Mikey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And so that's about all the time that we have.
So as we always say, for Mike Wigdor
and Frank Walsh and our two lovely guests, we will see you
down the road.
We had great